I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
(2018) Volvo S90
T8 PHEV, all-wheel drive Inscription.
This is actually one of the most counterintuitive cars I've ever driven.
Pretty much everything is the complete opposite of how you'd expect to do it and where you'd expect it to be. I'd like to start with the engines. There's two of them. I said engines. There's actually a badge that says twin engine on the back.
Supercharged and turbocharged?
4-cylinder. But that's not enough. There's also a hybrid engine, which I said plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
And there's a motor just for the rear wheels to make it all-wheel drive through the electric motor. So it's all-wheel drive.
This is very confusing.
There's a lot going on.
But it's fast.
It's very fast. Speaking of how fast it is, 400 horsepower, but that's not the real number. It's the torque. 472 pound-feet of torque.
But there's no paddles.
There's no paddles because this is hybrid spaceship from the future.
Instead of paddles, they just changed the turbocharger, the supercharger, and the electric motors?
Yeah.
Maybe? Feels like that instead of changing gears?
There's 8 gears and the transmission's pretty good. It's not the smoothest one that I've used, but you never know what's happening, what gear you're in, what supercharger's being used, what turbo, it's insane.
You're just along for the ride?
Yeah. Sometimes you hear those weird power line noises. You know, as a kid, maybe you didn't do this, maybe I did. You stand under the power lines, you hear that weird buzzing.
Sure.
Yeah, well, there you go. So this sometimes makes that sound. Then you hear turbo sounds. Then you hear supercharger sounds.
And then you hear nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's electric.
And it's dead quiet. There's a lot going on in this car.
It's weird, but it's cool.
It is, exactly, because it's very different. It's a completely different take on anything else in this class. There's no 4-cylinders in this class other than this.
The class is the full-size luxury sedan?
Yes, it's technically sort of mid-size, but this is the full-size version, so let's just call it full-size.
Okay. Can I dig into why I think this is the most counterintuitive car in the world?
Yes, and I'd like to start you off, though. Since we're talking about the transmission and the drivetrain, I'd like to talk about the crystal shifter.
It looks cool, but how does every shifter work? You take it down one into drive, right?
Yes.
This you have to click twice to go to drive. It goes to neutral, then to drive. To drive to go into reverse, you have to click up twice.
Everything you have to do is clicking twice on this little crystal shifter, which is very fancy.
And then below drive, you click down and you have B for braking because, you know, regenerative. And then you click down one more time and it'll tell you what gear you're in. But then you can't shift up out of gears, you just shift up into drive.
Exactly, you can't go up a gear, you can only go down. It's the weirdest thing I've ever encountered.
The next thing is the start stop. You expect it to be a button right here. No, we got this cool little metal diamondy looking thing that you turn right.
You turn right and you turn right to turn off, which I believe is different from the wagon that we tested. I think you turn to the left.
I don't think so.
I think it's a little different. Maybe not.
The next thing, all your settings are in a screen. It's kind of like a Samsung, an Android phone. You need to slide down for certain menus, slide left for other menus, push the home button.
It definitely takes a little while to learn.
Yeah, okay, say you want to roll up your rear peasant blocker, which we have. Do you know how to get to that?
From here, no.
You click once to get to your home screen, then you slide left, then you scroll up, and then is your rear sun curtain.
There it is.
That's like 3 different things that you need to already know in advance.
Very true. Let's put that back down. Since you brought up the peasant blockers, I would like to point out that the motors for the actual blockers for the passenger windows are very loud. And there's no blocker for the little corner windows, so you don't get maximum peasant blocking. So if you walk by, peasants might still see you, and you might still see peasants. So you get like 98% peasant coverage.
I mean, if the peasant can still see you, the peasant can still see you.
Exactly. Back to more counterintuitive stuff, the seats. The seat adjustment is insane.
It is, like, not in a good way, like this Lincoln Navigator can adjust so many ways, it's insane.
So they are on the side, which is exactly where you'd expect them to be, and moving forward and back and all that is normal. However, where it gets different is when you want a massage or you want to adjust your lumbar. So this does have massage seats, which is great. They are very strong and you can adjust the intensity, but you have to press this weird button up and down, and it's like a weird knob type thing that's not intuitive at all. And then it pops up on your screen.
Yeah, and so you've got a couple different massage modes. You have, here, go to the modes. They're actually pretty funny.
Okay.
Click.
Oh, wait.
Right? Because you don't know which way is right, which way
exactly,
is left.
because up and down. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we have swell, tread, advanced, and lumbar, and shoulder. Then we have intensity low, normal and high, speed low, normal, high, which is pretty cool.
It is cool to have the
It's
speed.
so hard to control everything.
It's very hard. I don't like it at all.
It's like cars in hard mode. Another counterintuitive thing for me was adjusting the head-up display. It was too low. How did you do that? I had to use the head-up display setting on the left screen, but I didn't know where that was, so I checked the instruction manual, but it wasn't in the instruction manual, the physical one. I had to scroll down, click my instruction manual in the computer to search that up.
But it's cool that it does have the owner's manual
It is,
in it.
yeah. It was very, very easy to use once you figured it out.
You know why? Because I couldn't find my heated steering wheel, which this has, and I had to search for it in the owner's manual, which is very nice, actually.
Yeah, but you can't do that while driving, so a passenger couldn't do it for you. You would need to stop so your passenger could check it for you.
Exactly. Speaking of more non-intuitiveness, I'm going to send it a little bit on cliche corner, but I'm going to adjust my drive mode before I do that. So I have all-wheel drive, pure, hybrid, power, and individual. I'm going to go into power for this, which also changes my suspension because this has rear air suspension, and that's an option. And it actually handles pretty well for being this size. I have no issues with the handling for this size. What I do have an issue with is the comfort. I find the suspension way too hard in a car like this. You feel way too much of the road, unlike the S-Class or even the Genesis G90 or something like that. Every little imperfection translates into the cabin, and I don't like that.
I've got more counterintuitiveness.
What's that?
I think this is going to be the last one, and then we'll get on to the normal review.
Okay.
It's the steering wheel controls.
Yeah, they're a little bit confusing. You don't know what's up or down or what up and down controls.
So the left side has a plus and a minus. I assume volume. Wrong. Cruise control speed. The
Pilot
right
assist.
side has up arrows and down arrows. I don't really know. I thought that was going to control my gauges. No, that's volume.
Except it also does control your gauges and your heads-up display when you're adjusting it. So then it tells you in this menu that you're adjusting your heads-up display with this button now. So it does both.
And you know what else I couldn't figure out? I couldn't figure out how to reset the trip computer. Try it. I dare you. I double dog dare you.
I'll figure it out later. We'll put that at the end of the video.
No, you won't. Back to the real review.
I'm going to send it a little turn and pure torque steer because it's mostly front-wheel drive.
Well, you weren't in your all-wheel drive mode.
And that is what is confusing because in all-wheel drive, I'm assuming I'm getting all-wheel drive. But in pure hybrid power or individual, I don't know if I'm in all-wheel or front-wheel. It's not intuitive.
Oh, we're still on this.
Yeah, a little bit. But you know what is intuitive? The visors. They work exactly as you'd expect visors to work. However, we don't know if they will pass.
I think they will. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, not intuitive.
They were so thick on this side and so skinny on this side, I figured it might.
But you know, they are actually leather, and that is an optional package. So we have leather sun visors.
Yeah, how about the optional extension?
They didn't check that box, I guess. I did mention this was a plug-in hybrid, a PHEV.
Yep.
So you can actually use the HOV lane on the highway, which is nice because you get green plates. And this can technically go 34 kilometers on a single charge using pure battery in pure mode.
And then you can also recharge it while driving in your other modes.
Exactly, so you can run it like a hybrid car, which is pretty cool. One more counterintuitive thing.
I'd like to point out we do like this car, so don't worry, but yeah, go for it.
The braking. You never know how much pedal input to give it because of the regen braking. And you can actually adjust the braking feel. You can have it go dynamic through the menus. Or you can turn it off and have it normal, which is much better.
To me, the brakes felt like I was playing a video game with fake video game pedals. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on, but there's something about it that I really didn't like. And I didn't feel that in any of the other Volvos we drove. Hey, I've got one more counterintuitive thing.
All right.
Satellite radios, does not rewind radio stations, whatever. But when you start clicking up or down on your wheel, it starts going through and then just disappears.
But I do have one intuitive thing, is that it has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
We really need it because everything else is quite confusing.
It's not confusing, it's counterintuitive. It just takes time to learn.
It does take time. You can get used to it, but it takes a lot more time than other cars would.
For sure.
I think we should get into looks and the interior because the interior is probably
They
the best.
nailed it! Nailed both!
But I think you're going to drive first.
Give me that Volvo. My favorite part of this car's exterior, the rear end.
I don't like the rear end whatsoever. I really like the front end.
Rear end first. The way the lights go around, I think I said a couple years ago that I really like the taillights at the auto show.
Yes, you did.
I still really do. It's very fun to look at. It's an interesting shape, and I think they did a great job with it.
These are futuristic lobster claws because they're squared off.
Yeah, yes, there's something. They're cool. The front end is really good.
The front end is great.
Regular old Volvo, not much to talk about besides regular old Volvo, which looks great.
Thor's hammer, nailed it.
Side profile.
I really like it. I like the length of it and the overall profile because it kind of looks coupe-like, but not really.
It doesn't look as long as the rear seat space is.
Yes, that is exactly it.
So let's get into that. Actually, no. You probably have some like wheels and stuff to talk about, don't you?
Yeah, I want to talk about wheels.
Just do it then. Let me guess. It has 20s, which is nice.
Dubs. Rolling on dubs.
Is it actually 20s?
Yeah, they're an option. And beside the wheel, we have a little inscription badge on the body, which is pretty cool.
What's inscripted in it?
Inscription.
Oh. Well, yeah, what's the inscription?
Inscription.
Oh, it's the inscription.
Is this it? Are we doing this? Is this Dude, Where's My Car? What does mine say?
Sweet.
Dude.
Now let's talk about my favorite part of the interior, the wood.
The walnut wood?
It is the best looking wood I've ever seen in any car. It's got so much texture. It looks perfect. It's not glossy. I love it. And the best part about it, in the rear, it angles in towards each other. Look at that. And what do you think about the seats?
The seats are great. Super comfortable.
Very, very comfortable. For my bad back, it's very nice. Fully adjustable. Once I get through the whole...
Whoa. I'm the bad back guy.
Yeah, my bad back hurts too.
Oh, really? So now we're both bad back guys.
Too much lifting.
So we're basically useless at doing anything other than driving cars.
I've been bending with my knee and not my back. But the seats are very comfortable once you get used to using the crazy controls, so that's nice.
Yeah, and the adjustable bolstering is really nice. I do appreciate what they put into the seats just past the non-intuitiveness.
Audio system.
Very good. Bowers & Wilkins, optional. You should get it.
That's for all the people saying we don't talk about audio enough.
There you go.
Now the important stuff, cup holders. Does it fit?
Yes, it does.
Perfect.
Small Tim Hortons cup of coffee fits perfectly. You know what's annoying though? Gloss black everywhere down here.
You can get this in the cool wood.
Are you sure about
I
that?
saw it in the manual.
All right then. I think we should talk about the rear seats though, because I think that's mostly what this car is about.
It has more rear seat room than any other car ever.
The most. It's like a whole room back there.
You know how I know it has a lot of seat room?
How?
I can sit down and put one leg over the other. You can't do that in other cars.
Yeah, that's very true.
Doesn't even recline back there.
I know.
You know what it does?
The Genesis G90?
That we just drove, yes. Keep an eye out for that, but it might have come out before this.
Yeah, just so you know.
Shout out ourselves.
Hey, shout out ourselves. You want to buy t-shirts? We got a merch store.
Yeah, and we have Patreon. And there's some prizes. You get to do visor tests. We'll put it in the video. Speaking of which, nobody has sent us their visor tests on Patreon.
Send us some.
Patreon squad, send us the stuff you're supposed to send us, and we're going to put it in the videos.
We've been waiting.
And we're very happy that you support us because it helps a lot.
That's right. Now back to this car. There's no controls in the back, nothing. It's very minimalistic. You just kind of sit there very comfortably and that's it. And we have rear peasant blockers like we said back there, and they do not cover the side windows like I already said, but now that we're in the back, I'm explaining what happens in the back.
Now that I'm driving in, I want to talk about the gauges a little bit more. They're all right.
Yeah, they're okay. They remind me of Jaguar Land Rover style.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the same company helped build it, but you've got either maps in the middle, media in the middle, or nothing in the middle. I choose nothing.
It's decently customizable.
No, it's not customizable at all. Like, why would you say that?
Yeah, it is.
You can change like the color of the ring around it, and that's it.
Yeah, and the maps, like you said, and the display.
That's barely anything compared to a Mercedes.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So that's barely customizable.
Fair enough.
Even
if you're going to compare it. What about the G90?
The Velar did more stuff. The
What about
G90 has more options in the middle that I can control from here.
No, it doesn't.
We still got to figure out if you can reset this trip computer.
After the credits. We don't have credits.
Yeah, we have outro.
Yeah.
We have old outro with the old font we used to use on our old thumbnails. If anybody remembers those old thumbnails, leave a comment below. I think you're pre 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah, something around that.
We haven't talked about the radar, cruise, lane keep assist.
It's pilot assist. It's like every other Volvo. It works perfectly.
It doesn't work perfectly. I find it kind of loses lanes here or there. I think there's better systems. You disagree, but it's nice.
We will eventually do some sort of comparison, hopefully. I think we should finish this off with the price.
Obviously, because that's what we always do.
Oh, how predictable. This is the T8. It starts at $75,000.
Canadian.
But we are not driving the $75,000 version. Yuri, what is your guess?
90 to 100,000.
Correct. It is $92,000.
Can I be brutally honest with you?
Go for it. No. Lie to me.
I wouldn't want to spend $92,000 on this.
It's a lot of money for this.
There's a lot of stuff that I don't like about it, and I think it's the counterintuitiveness that just doesn't fit with me. But I think it looks amazing, and inside looks great too.
I think if you're a person that really likes tech, if you're an Android person, this is not an Apple type car.
Yeah. It's a weird techie car, and it's cool, and it's impressive to other people as long as they don't need to push the buttons.
And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and patreon.com/TheStraightPipes.
Now let's see if Jacob can figure out the trip reset. Go.
Okay. No buttons here, nothing to press here. Okay, must be through the infotainment. Settings. My car. Displays. Perhaps displays. No. Oh, that's not back. That's back. Parking brake. No. Okay, it's not there. Let's go system. Factory reset. No, that's going to reset everything. Let's go. No, it's not going to be here. Okay, let's get out of this menu. Let's swipe left. I don't see anything that would indicate anything to adjust that. Let's hold this button, see what happens. No. Oh, this button. Yep. Oh, how do you reset it? No. Okay, I found the menu for it. I don't know how to reset it. I'm holding the button. It's not doing anything. What if I hold this button? No. This one? No. This one again? Nope. If I really hold this one.
Yo, I couldn't figure it out.
Dude, I really don't know how.
I'm on this. I actually wanted your help.
Oh, reset.
Where? How?
Yes!
How'd you do it? That took you
Found it!
1 minute and 38 seconds.
Wow.
To reset your. What? There's a reset button there.
There's a button that says reset on the end of the stock for the turn signal.
So what you're saying is it's not intuitive.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't forget to subscribe again.